Hi guys, welcome back to the Sweaty Potato Channel, home of the fastest Redcat Rampage XT on YouTube. Today I kind of got a different video going on. We're going to kind of, touch on quite a few things. I wanted to first start off. We'll start off with the title. What I'm going to do instead of building a trophy or anything like that, or a crown or whatever, what I'm going to do is build a WWF style wrestling belt that we can all pass around, and I'm going to decorate it for the fastest Rampage XT on YouTube title, and that's what it'll say on it. So that's kind of what I came up with that. And then another thing I wanted to talk about is the weather. The weather, guys. I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to give you a little clip, but we're in store to get about, I don't know, they say 9 inches. We'll see when it, what happens when it comes, but we'll see what happens. But if that happens, it's going to be forever, until I get a decent time to be able to run this in, because it's going to take a long time for that snow to melt, And I'm not going to be, running that thing out in the snow or anything, the brand new engine. So, and then I'm like I said in one of my previous videos, every time it's snowing, I'm not going to be snow bashing this. So that's another thing I'm not going to be doing. But it is, the weather is kind of getting crappy on us. I guess winter's starting to really set in here in Iowa. So we're looking at about 9-10 inches of snow, and then it's supposed to get really, really cold. Well, in the next 3 days, one day it's not even supposed to be above zero. It's supposed to, the high is 2 below zero. So, and then another thing I wanted to mention is one of the things I wanted to go over in the video too is this Fly Sky radio. And huge shout out to my brother Jeff in Christ. From East Side RC, he sent me one. I already have it programmed and everything, and here we'll kind of go into that. All right, now flip the antenna up. This is what I like about it. It's got this awesome screen right here, and here I'll flip on the car. And then it lets you know your battery voltage, all that stuff. And then the other thing it lets you do is it lets you set your endpoints on your servo. So when your steering's maxed out, your servo isn't still pressing on your steering and still applying pressure, and it saves life on the servos, and it saves life on the servos and all that stuff. And then another thing you can do, we're at 11 volts. Another thing you can do, well, of course you can set your trim, but what I really liked about it is the fact that I could set each individual way that it steers, each individual way. I can set the percentage of how far it turns each way, and then I could also adjust the sensitivity on the steering, like how fast it goes. So, when you're going real fast or whatever, it doesn't, the steering's a little heavier, so it just doesn't veer off. It just gives it a little bit more control. And right now I have my steering set at 80%, and then it also has ABS, a deal on it. And what it does is when you turn that on, and you can turn it on fast, it's got different settings. What it does is when you're braking, it kind of pulses your brakes instead of just locking them up. I thought that was another cool feature. And then the one thing I had to do, when I did do all my programming and everything, is I had to adjust the throttle, because the endpoint on wide open was only set at 70%, and then brake was only set at, I think it was 35%. So basically, if I would have went out and tried to run it, I wouldn't have had full throttle, and I definitely wouldn't have had brakes. So good thing I didn't do that. And so I got everything set up, and as you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but the throttle goes full. And then I set my brake, and I'm going to play with that when the weather gets nice. I'm going to play with the brakes because right now I have them at 55%, and it's just to where it's when I spin it by hand, it's, you know, there's a good drag on it. So, and I used to have to do all my braking and all that stuff through, you know, just through feel on my, you know, on the finger control, because those Redcat radios, and the Rovan, they're nothing like this thing. This thing is super cool, and I've been looking at getting one. And then we're gonna come in here and take a look at this here. This is the 29 out of the Rovan, which I put the new ring on. I reassembled it. I did it off camera, and now I'm kind of wishing I didn't, now that the snow's coming. But yeah, that light isn't really gonna help it much. But that's how it turned out. And I did not use a head gasket. That's just flange sealant, folks. And I torqued the head down, and she's ready to be run in. And what I'm thinking I might try to do is build like a stand to mount the engine to, so I can run them off of the vehicle, because it's kind of a pain in the butt, you know, to be always switching the engines. So yeah, what I want to do, guys, is I want to make like a little stand, some sort of you know, stand or whatever to mount the engine to. Of course, it's gonna have to be big, you know, it's gonna be, well, I don't know, I'd say probably that long by that wide. That's something that I can mount the engine to, so I can, you know, put fuel to it and start it up. Because what I'm wanting to do, guys, is I'm wanting to run this VP MS100, and it's going to add power because the fuel has oxygen in it. So that means it has more oxygen and more air, more fuel, more oxygen, more power. So I'm going to be running that, and that's one of the reasons why I want to kind of make the engine stand to kind of play with them. And as far as I know, I don't know of anybody that runs these things off of MS100. I'm going to try it and see if I can get them to fire up and run off of it. And then once I do that, then after I figure out whether they can run off of it and how well they do, then I will probably, you know, put one of these engines in one of these cars and see, you know, do some testing on them and stuff like that. But yeah, I got everything assembled on that and all that stuff. So I hope everybody liked today's video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and also up towards the subscribe button, there's a bell notification. Make sure you hit that. If you hit that, hit all, it'll give you all notifications every time I upload a video. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, you should probably do that if you like what you see, because this is what I do, guys. We'll see you in the next one.